Welcome to the Explainer. There's so much hype around AI right now. We're going to cut right through that today. I'm going to show you how you can build some seriously powerful AI agents without writing a single line of code. For real.
All right, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get our heads around what an AI agent actually is. Then, we're going to step into the workshop, a visual one, to see how these things are put together. We'll look at their tools, their brain, their memory, the whole shebang. And then we'll see how you can take it to the next level and build an entire AI team. Sound good? Let's dive in.
Okay, first up, let's get on the same page here. What even is an AI agent? You hear all these buzzwords, right? Digital employee, virtual assistant. Let's get past that. So at its heart, an AI agent is not just a chatbot. Not at all. It's an autonomous system. That means you give it a goal, something like, hey, plan a dinner meeting with Michael Scott for tonight. And it can actually think. It reasons, it comes up with a plan, and it uses digital tools to get the job done, all by itself. And this is a really important difference to understand. You've got AI workflows on one hand and AI agents on the other. A workflow, that's just a recipe. It follows the exact same steps every single time, no deviation. But an agent is like a chef. The chef understands the goal, make a fantastic meal, and can improvise, choose different ingredients, different techniques to make it happen. You see the difference? One follows the script, the other one writes the script. Okay, so where do you actually build these things? Welcome to the workshop. We're going to be looking at a no-code platform called n8n. And what it does is pretty amazing. It takes all this complex stuff and turns it into a simple, visual drag-and-drop experience. The whole idea behind n8n is, well, it's beautifully simple, actually. Think of it like digital Lego blocks. They're called nodes. And you snap these nodes together to build a process. You can visually automate pretty much any task you can think of. It's that intuitive. And here's what makes this so powerful. Every single one of these nodes, no matter what it does, works the exact same way. It's a simple three-step dance. It takes some data in, you tell it what to do with that data, and then it passes the result out to the next node. That's it. This super simple, repeatable pattern is how you can build these amazingly complex systems just by snapping these little blocks together. Now, the information, the data that's flowing between all these blocks, it's usually in a format called JSON. And I know, when you first see it, it can look a little techie, a little intimidating, but trust me, it's way more straightforward than it looks. And this is literally all it is. It's just a list of labels, we call them keys, and they're matching info, which we call values. So the key is name, the value is Nate. The key is age, the value is 50. That's all. And this simple format, it's the universal language that all these AI systems speak. They get it perfectly. All right, so we've got our Lego blocks. But an agent with a brain and no way to interact with the world, well, it's pretty useless, right? It needs hands. It needs tools to actually do things online. And that's where APIs come into play. The best way to think about an API is like a waiter at a restaurant, right? You don't have to go into the kitchen and know how everything works. You just tell the waiter what you want. The waiter, the API, goes to the kitchen, gets your order, and brings it back to you. It's the perfect middleman for software. So for our agent, these APIs are its senses and its hands. They let it take real-world action. It can talk to other apps, check your Gmail, block out time in your Google Calendar, or even just go search the web to find some information. Okay, so we've got the body, we've got the tools, but what's the part that makes it, well, intelligent? It really boils down to two key parts, the brain and the memory. So the brain. That's the large language model, your GPT-4, that kind of thing. It's what provides the reasoning, the planning, the language skills. But for specific knowledge, say your company's private documents, it needs a special kind of memory. And that's where something called a vector database comes in. The best way to think of this is like a super-powered librarian. It doesn't just look for keywords, it understands the meaning behind your questions. It gets the context, so it can pull up exactly the right piece of info in a snap. Now, once you get the hang of building one agent, this is where it gets really, really cool. The real power comes when you start building a whole team of specialized AIs that can all work together.
To do that, you bring in what's called an orchestrator agent. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the project manager. It takes a big, complex problem, breaks it into smaller pieces, and then hands off those pieces to the right specialist agent on the team. Super efficient.
And you can build some seriously sophisticated setups this way.
Like you could have a routing agent that's basically a receptionist for your support tickets, sending them to the right person. Or you could use a parallelization framework to have a bunch of agents look at a problem all at once, from different angles. You can even create an evaluator framework. It's like a writer-editor team. One agent writes, the other one checks its work, and they go back and forth until it's absolutely perfect.
So let's zoom out for a second. What's the big picture? Why does any of this matter? Why is building these things in a visual, no-code way a total game changer? It's because this isn't just for coders anymore. That's the key. These visual tools are democratizing AI. They're putting the power to build these incredible automations into the hands of the people who actually know the problems best. The experts, the creators, the business owners.
I mean, with platforms like n8n having over 1,000 pre-built connections to other apps, the limit is no longer whether you can code. The only limit now is your own creativity, your ability to look at a problem and figure out how to solve it by snapping these powerful pieces together. So the big takeaway here is this: the barrier to creating really powerful AI has just collapsed. It's gone. The power to design and build these incredible solutions is literally in your hands now, which kind of leaves us with one big question to think about. Now that anyone can be a builder, what problem are you going to solve first?